Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, as always, it is John the Ninja in the Dojo, aka the Dojang, aka the John the Ninja Studios, and this is concert number 13 on the concert resume. It's going to be Kid Rock and Foreigner on the First Kiss Cheap Date Tour. This took place in July 7th, 2015. This has to be, I want to say, my junior year summer, going into senior year. Now, I'm going to be real quick with this one about the actual concert because the show was a little more relaxed. It was more about the things happening in my life at that time. So, quick crash course we're going to give you. So, my junior year was really triumphant for me. I had a great cross country season after a really bad sophomore year, but we'll get more into that in the next concert show series video. And, I was working in King of Prussia at American Eagle at the time. So, here's what happened. I was in college, and they made us go to this job fair. So I was like, okay, I'll go. And having worked at Garage, that was my first job, women's clothing, long story. Having worked there, I saw a table that said American Eagle, and it caught my interest. So I started looking, and these two girls were there. I only remember one's name. Her name was Jen. Most beautiful boss I have ever had. And she was married. So I was like, shit. So I wasn't interested after that. But she and her friend were looking at me like, hey, do you ever think about working here? I was like, well, I used to work at Garage. They're like, oh, give us a call, give us your resume, we'll see what we can do about it. I was like, okay. So give them the resume. They told me to come in on Thursday. And I was like, I really don't want to do this. So I showed up to, tell them like, hey, I'm sorry. I want to thank you for, your time. I just felt like it'd be wrong to do it over the phone, especially how great you guys were with me in person. And they took all the people doing interviews, took them to the side, and then they gave me a W-2. I'm like, the fuck is this? So I got hired on the spot. So with that said, my summer consisted of me waking up in New Jersey, about an hour 30 away from King of Prussia, an hour 20 or hour 10, give or take, depending on traffic, away from WMMR. I would go to WMMR, and depending on the day, because I would get some days, and then Ryan Shuttleworth, who's currently a DJ at WMMR too, he was an intern at the same time. He would get the other days. So I would get, like, say, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. He would get Tuesday, Thursday, or vice versa. So, with that said, it was fantastic going into MMR, helping out when I could. Now, I wasn't there every day. At the time, technically, was I getting credit? Technically, I was. So, with that said, I was so tired sometimes, I just wouldn't wake up. And this is the point I'm trying to get to. This is why I was living the lifestyle I was. Wake up, go to MMR, go to King of Prussia after, go to work, and it'd be like 11 p.m. when I get done, and then I had to decide would I drive back to Vineland and possibly not wake up in time to go help at MMR, or do I want to stay at Eastern with a couple of friends because it's in the area, let them have me sleep on their couch? Do I want to go to Eastern? If I didn't ask them to let me sleep, could I sneak in, sleep in the lounge area? Or did I want to go to Eastern and sleep in my car, or go to MMR and sleep in my car? And that was pretty much the options I had. I was so determined to not screw it up, to at least be there if I could be, that I slept in my car. Even when I started working at Ben FM, I would have days where, like, say, I would have an event, and I was like, do I really want to go home? Or I would sleep in my car. I would sleep in my car. I would find a spot outside the station. I would go to my buddy Zach's house, sleep on his floor. I would sleep outside his house in my car, depending if we actually had a night of drinking. Like, I was so determined. Like, listen, if I'm going to wake up late, at least if I wake up late there, there's still a chance of me to redeem myself. So I was hungry. Sometimes I would sleep at the station. Say it's like 5 a.m. and the event's at 7, and I was there. I would sleep inside. One great story was there was a boardroom at MMR at the station. So every now and again, I would sleep in the boardroom. If I was too tired to go home, I would sleep in there, or if I got there early, or etc. Very rarely would I, make it a means to sleep in there, but I had some really good naps in there. So, I'm there. It's like, I want to say 4 or 5 a.m. I'm like, all right, the event's at 8. I'm good. I'm going to go to bed. So I always lock the door just in case, you don't know if somebody gonna find you and act crazy or whatever. So lock the door, and it was freezing. It was middle of winter. This is like 2017. So middle of winter, it's freezing. I don't have a blanket. I'm in a t-shirt like this. When you put your arms in, start freezing. So I turned the thermostat up to like 90. Fell asleep, and oh my god, that was some of the best rest I have ever had. It was so good to just chill on that couch in the boardroom, and just be like. So I woke up, I made sure everything. I really didn't touch anything. I just put my stuff on the table and fell asleep, and then woke up and then left. But I came in that Monday, and I heard people bitch. They're like, "Yo, were you in that meeting today? Some jackass put the thermostat to 90. We were fucking frying in there." I was like, "Well, that's a shame." So that was my life at the time. So I was interning. I was working that whole summer. It was the summer of 2015. Legitimately was just working, working, working. And it was a blessing because I didn't like my job at King of Prussia with American Eagle. I wasn't great at it. I'm not the best at knowing American Eagle products. I was terrible when I started because it took forever to get used to folding and making things look nice again. I had one guy, his name was Kumar, cool dude. We really hit it off well, but he was like, "Man, you impressed me because when you first started here, we thought you weren't gonna make it." I was like, "Why you think that?" He was like, "Bro, you did one table in 4 hours when you had a room." I was like, "Oh, well, damn. You know what? You're right. You're right. You just made me think I impressed myself. Damn, I sucked at this." So again, even so, there would be days where I would show up an hour late just because I was coming from Vineland, leave 2 hours early just to get there an hour late. There'd be times where, I'd be at MMR and I'd still show up an hour late because I get stuck in traffic or etc. So it it really was like, do I really want to do this? And I was thinking of doing a transfer, but they were so good to me. The ladies at the time, I don't remember Jen's name, but the other ladies there, the head of the store, they're such good people that, I bit the bullet for the summer until it was time to go back to running and cross country. So I bowed out at the end of the summer saying like, hey, the drive's too much and plus school's starting up again. But that was my life that whole summer. And it really it boggles my mind to think I did that. If I just did the MMR gig, going up every day and every now and again, then that made more sense to me. But, actually sticking out with the job was crazy. So that's where I'm at in my life. Ooh. Stay on. It's actually pretty cool. So transitioning, that's where I'm at in my life for this concert. So, Kid Rock announces the tour. I wanted to see him. He was really big growing up, 90s and 2000s, with songs like Born Free, did a couple of country albums, did rock shows, etc. And Pancake at the time, he's like, hey man, let me give you this, the tickets. MMR's got to have some tickets. And I was like, oh, it's only $40. I wanted it to be a rite of passage instead of being interrupted. You mind? You do this now? At all the other times? Thank you. Shh. So it was a rite of passage. I just wanted to take my dad to the show. So what I did was I tried ordering it off Live Nation, and then it wouldn't work. I was like, okay. So I called in. They were like, yeah, $40 plus a service fee. I'm like, service fee? That's when I started looking into like ticket sales and like different ticket avenues like StubHub, Ticket Liquidator, because my favorite's Live Nation because you get to pick, but it's expensive. Never use Ticketmaster. They don't even let you pick your own tickets. They suck, even though they technically own Live Nation. What I did find was the best thing to do if you want to buy concert tickets is go straight to the box office. You will pay whatever it is and then some tax. If you're in Delaware, you won't pay no tax. So if they say $40, it's going to be $40. They say $50, $70, it's going to be that price. Do that instead. It's not worth it. Having been the guy who spent over $1,000 on concert tickets, probably $2,000. The most expensive concert show I ever went to was probably Red Hot Chili Peppers. I know I dropped like $500. I might take that back. Maybe $600, maybe $300 a pop for Metallica at Financial Field, the Link Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia. I know Iron Maiden by itself was like a $250, $270 when I went to see them in New York, and AC/DC. Now, AC/DC and Iron Maiden I will pay for no matter what. I was going by myself and I wanted the specific seats. I was gonna do it, so not as bad, but I've learned my lesson. Best thing to do, Groupon. Groupon and StubHub. I got to see Snoop Dogg for $40. $40 off Groupon. remember it. So, I bought the tickets, and this show again wasn't really that crazy. Um, it did have emotional value because it was Kid Rock and it was Foreigner. And Foreigner was really big for me growing up. They had all these hits like Feels Like the First Time, Jukebox Hero, or Urgent, Double Vision. Who hasn't had that happen when they had a few drinks? But it was a reminder to me because I had a really bad breakup my senior year after I graduated. I was dating a girl, and having grown up in a Christian environment where it's like, in my head and out loud, I portray it like, oh, you date around, you meet different people, you see who you like, and then you find the one. But very much in my soul, in my heart, I'm one of those guys, like, I do better in a monogamous relationship. I don't do good by myself, and I know it. So when I had her, I was kind of, stop it, work. I gotta stop hitting the desk. I guess it doesn't like it. When I got with her, even though we're young, and we all have to go through that first heartbreak and etc. Still sucks. That's what happened to me. That was my first heartbreak. So, I don't think she was cheating. I think it was emotional cheating. Stupid high school stuff. But, it really bothered me. And this was the soundtrack. Foreigner was the soundtrack to that breakup. And I remember driving with my best friend Dom. He's like, yo, has your ex listened to this BS? Because this is the same stuff you're going through. So I was like, that sucks. So, listening and seeing them live was great. And my dad actually came he came to the show during the second song, which was Head Games, because we came separately. So, right after that, they went into Cold as Ice, and I'll give the set list after this, but I do remember one of my favorite licks, because my favorite song by them is Urgent, but Cold as Ice has this great ending where it's like, I just love that riff, and I don't think I heard it before, so, going at it, listening to those songs, I had a really bad sophomore year. All right, back to Homegirl. So we broke up my my going into my freshman year, and I was kind of upset about that. But sophomore year rekindled. I had a weak moment. It's a whole cluster F and a half, that whole story. I'll probably tell it one day. But we went back together. Then she cheated for real. That's for sure. And that kind of destroyed me. So my junior year, which is already past at this point of the concert, was kind of my redefining me moment. This is where I'm going. This is where I've come from. So listening to Foreigner was like, oh, you know what? Damn, I remember that pain, but it feels so good to be over it. I haven't forgotten. I'm still pretty pissed about it, but I'm petty like that. So, saw Foreigner, got to enjoy that part of the show, and then Kid Rock came out. Kid Rock took me back because he's a musician that he can throw anything out there. He'll say, let's play this song, and then the whole band will just jump on it. A typical musician. But what people don't know was he was a rapper at first. He started off as a hip-hop artist, and he did the show like a rap show, which threw me off. There'd be some songs he'd do fully and entirely, and then other songs where he'd cut it like halfway through the chorus and start talking. So I'd be like, oh my god, this is really interesting. But he played the songs I wanted to see. I remember, like, I hope he plays Baba Da Ba Wa. Because, I was like, not too sure. Because some shows he would and some shows he didn't. But all in all, it was just a real chill show with my dad. It wasn't really a concert where it's like headbanging and freaking out like it usually would. It was definitely different. And it wasn't a concert with so many like memories like that. It was just, hey, I got to see Kid Rock. That was a pretty chill experience. I don't even think I had a beer. I think I just was with my dad and relaxed. So let's see, for Mr. Rock, particularly, what songs he played for us that evening. We'll start with Foreigner. Foreigner played Double Vision, Head Games, that's when my dad came in, Cold as Ice, Dirty White Boy, Feels Like the First Time, Urgent, Jukebox Hero, I Want to Know What Love Is, and Hot Blooded. And then for Kid Rock, I went online to look up the set list. I still can't find what was played. Typical rap show. Sometimes you get the set list, sometimes you don't get the itinerary of what happened. But I know he played First Kiss. I know he played American Badass, So Hot, Born Free, All Summer Long, and then he did end up playing Baba Da Ba Wa. Now, the only other two things I can remember, because I wrote it down here. I really didn't have these memories, but lucky for me, I wrote down like what happened. My dad came and we had a fight with the box office. I don't know what that was about. I think I had to pull the MMR card like I'm an intern there. Like, these tickets should be here even though I didn't get it through them. And then the other one was I actually ended up getting this CD, First Kiss, from that show. It was free if you signed up to help fight cancer or something like that. I just remember they were giving them out for free if you just signed your name. It was no money, which was great. But again, another show down. That was number 13. The next show you most definitely have to see. If you made it through this one, then you're gonna want to see the next one. Number 14, The Foo Fighters with Royal Blood, Susquehanna Bank Center. A spiritual awakening, a spiritual moment. That show is top 5 concerts, if not top 5, top 3. Super important to me. So, as always, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and share. At least share. More so subscribe, but like helps a lot. You have no idea. In the meantime, stay smart, stay safe, and God bless. I will see you next time for concert number 14.